Yes, we're live. Grateful Day. Welcome to the Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast. Episode number 19. So excited, you guys. I have a special guest that's going to be coming on shortly here with me. Cannot wait. But I'm your host, Jenée Hudson, the Uplifter. I help empower former and transitioning professionals just navigating through the complex balances of life and commitments and growth, and just guiding them to conquer overwhelm, which we all have, right? With just unwavering integrity, authenticity, and perseverance, which is very key in my life and on my journey. So this is all anchored in what? Faith, all together. I am so excited that you're joining me today. Thank you so much. All right. Today's episode is called Faith in Action, a conversation with a community change maker. So exciting, you guys. So exciting. So we're going to dive into the power of faith in action and community transformation. So first, before I get started, as always in the beginning of my podcast, let me go ahead and show the t-shirt of the day for Friday. It's not actually big words today, but it's very small. Small things mean a lot too. So it says, planting seeds and giving flowers daily is what this shirt says. So today, this shirt for the Friday, this pretty much is kind of what we're going to be getting into, and that whole community and just being able to plant seeds, and just giving back and helping by way of community. So I am so very excited for this episode and having my special guest. You guys, oh my goodness, I am honored to host this second guest of mine. Okay, I have him on Fridays. I do my podcast on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern time, like we're doing it now, live. But my special guest is always on the last Friday of the month. Okay, so happy for this today. Wow, what can I say? A remarkable change maker whose faith has been a driving force just behind the impactful community projects. I first actually had the honor of meeting this young lady. Oh my gosh, she's remarkable. In a community of our own, called the Powerhouse Women. And that's how I kind of met her. And man, it was called the Powerhouse Women. And from there, we just remained friends, which I was so grateful of. And just women on the move, for the most part, is what I call us, So, man, let me get to it. Ooh, cannot wait. So, let me introduce to you Dr. Emily Jacobs. She is a wife, a mother of two beautiful girls, an author, and a former 20 plus year doctorate level nurse. You guys, phenomenal already, right? So she turned an empowerment coach and the founder of Empowered Moms. You guys, that's genius, right? Empowered Moms. After publishing, get this, her first book, which was epic, by the way, because I've got a copy. It's called Live Your Life for You, Not Your Mom. Okay, so she would realize that she was not alone in creating a life that she loved. So despite what anyone thinks, she just felt that way. You guys, let's give it up for her. She coaches ambitious moms out of fear, guilt, and doubt to live a life full of just purpose and passion. Again, you guys, who don't need that? Who don't need that? So, wow, I am getting ready to introduce her. Let's do this. I cannot wait. Let's go. Let's go. Let me bring her on. Let's see here. 1 second. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. Where is she at? Where is she at? I know she's here. Let's see here. Okay, Emily, might need you to go ahead and ask to join, but hold on a second. Here we at. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, Satan. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Just asked her to join. She should be coming in. Let's go. Woo! Yes. Hey, Emily.
Hi. Oh my gosh, what an intro. I was like blushing over here. I'm like, oh my God, she's really excited.
Talking about you.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. I am so grateful. Man, let me tell you something. I'm an uplifter. I'm the uplifter, and I am inspired by you. So let me just tell you that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it was so amazing meeting you. What, I think it's been 2 years ago when we were in that program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. At the Powerhouse Women. Oh my gosh. Epic, right? So I want to, let me just say this. You guys, at the Empowered Moms, they're like they're committed to just joining together in a community and just collaboration, and most importantly, their connection. And through like their monthly gatherings that they have and their support, Emily leads all of this, which is, man, kudos. Kudos to you. So like they have like a high level coaching service and things like that they can offer you and bring to you, which is again so amazing. I've been to one of her events that she had, one of her main events, and I can't wait for her next one in October. Not to give it all away because I'll let her talk about that. But epic, you guys. I had to leave actually half a day that time, but I was like, this time the full day I'm there.
I love it. I love it.
So Emily, I've already said some amazing things about you and things like that, but what can you tell us more about this amazing community before we get to the giftful questions and answers?
Yeah, I mean, I really designed this company. It's almost been a year now, and it was really for the ambitious mom that was having a lot of like shame and guilt around her ambitions. And I think for me, I had dreamed my whole life of having a child, and at 38, I was blessed with one. And I remember just being so full and complete. And then a few weeks into it, about 8 weeks in, I felt full and complete, and then I felt a piece of me missing. And I think that was the biggest thing is that, I had family members say, it sounds like this wasn't good enough, or, it sounds like you're ungrateful. I'm like, that's not it. What happened was I thought this little piece of me, like the little girl in me, the little dreamer that was like, had all these big ambitious dreams, I thought it just went away.
Mm.
And I think it's because of, and not to blame, but like my mom would say words like, well, you just sacrificed your life for your kids. That's just what you do as a mom. And although I agree with that at times, she really did sacrifice her entire life to the point of like bitter and resentment. And I'm like, no, nope, it's gonna be different for me. I know it, I believe it in my heart. And I think that was the biggest thing is what I realized is that there were so many moms similar to me. Like again, when you don't speak those things out, you feel like you're so alone. And I'm just super vulnerable, which was a gift at the time. And so speaking out, I'm like, I'm not alone at all. I've got to develop a community, a support, mentor, coaching, all the things, because it's just like, how can I get back to mom? So one, you can go through it faster than the struggle I went through, and just like learn lessons at a different speed. So that was the main drive behind the community.
That is amazing. That's amazing. And you do have a book.
Yes.
Briefly.
Yeah. So I wrote the book, Live Your Life for You, Not Your Mom. And truthfully, it was part memoir, part all the lessons I learned. And the reason, really real reason behind it was I was blessed. I am blessed with 2 daughters. Nice. You guys, I had a very challenging mother-daughter relationship. This was not on my plan. And I feel like God gave me 2 tries. He's like, all right, lady, 1 wasn't enough. Now you got 2. Figure this out. Break the cycles, because you are going to repeat those same patterns that you hated, that threw you into like depression and shame and anxiety. Because here's the thing, I was the little girl that just wanted to make my mom happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, what I realized is like, it's not my job. I don't know how many therapists told me that, but I was like, no, I've seen her happy. She was happy when I was a little kid. I don't know what happened. I can do this. I was a nurse for so long. Like I wanted to cure everybody, right? And when I realized that 1, it's not my job. 2, you can't really do it. And 3, it was up to her. She was choosing that. And again, like just coming back to, writing the book and all that, I just realized I'm like, it's a choice. Everything is a choice. When I'm angry, when I'm burnt out, when I'm stressed, and I know, don't throw tomatoes at me, but it is. I know because I do it to myself all the time, and I try to help people out of it. Like, I was kind of realizing the other day, I'm kind of like, am I the burnout queen? Do I just know how to do this so well? No, I'm getting better at it because I love training people to get out of it faster. A lot of us kind of revert back to our old behaviors, and I'm trying to be like, okay, come with me. Like we're all with me, but let's revert back. Let's get out of this a little faster, right? Let's get out of this burnout. Let's not live in this cycle.
Oh, again, so good. That's all I can say. Love it, love it. Man, you hit on some great points. And with that, to guide our actual discussion, I like to call them gifts versus just tips. So we have some giftful questions that I am so eager to explore with our admired guest, everyone, Dr. Emily Jacobs. So let's get started. All right. So gift number 1, just can you share, and I know you've already went into some things, but can you just share with us a pivotal moment when like your faith became connected with your passion to even create this community to which you've actually created?
Yes. It was basically 2021 at the end of the year. I'd just gotten a promotion in healthcare, and I was so excited about this next level. However, knowing that entrepreneurship is probably something I should do. And I know that sounds really crazy, but like at the time, I just remember being so scared. And I remember walking into work with panic and anxiety of like, there's a whole nother ball game, but just knowing that it wasn't aligned and still continuing to be like pushing through it. Now, it wasn't very long in that role, and there was a lot of lessons learned in that. But I remember when I resigned, I'll never forget this moment, because I had thrown things out there. Okay, well, but if this happens, I'll definitely resign. Okay, but if this happens, this other thing, I'll definitely resign, right? I didn't at first. And I was like, okay, but definitely by this 3rd thing, that'll definitely be my sign. Oh, all those things happened and they weren't all great. And I was like, I guess I'm resigning. And when I did, the craziest thing is I finally felt free. I had no backup plan, and I'm a backup planner. I'm a backup to my backup to my backup plan. And I'm like, well, I'm a nurse. I'll figure this out. Like there's a million jobs in nursing. I can figure this out. But I just remember sitting on my porch swing being like, all right, God, I did the thing, right? I resigned. I already feel better. Thank you. But now what? And am I really supposed to create a business and a company? Because I'm really scared and I don't know that I have the stamina for that. I have 2 young kids. And the truth is, I mean, obviously, for me, I think it's just when you get that sense of calm, you feel that that's got to be the right decision, even if it's hard, even if it's scary. And I remember, so I'm sitting on my porch swing, and I kind of was like, all right, God, if you just give me that 4th sign, if you just give me like 1 more sign, right? Like, then I'll really trust you. And I was like moving my chair, and I was like moving my seat, and this little butterfly came out from underneath me, and I was like, I literally rolled my eyes. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm like, I don't know what this means. And so actually the book came before the company because I that's where I was a little bit pulled. I mean, it kind of came at the same time, but not Empowered Moms yet, which was really on my heart. So it was like, all right. And of course, as you know, with signs and stuff, I couldn't stop seeing butterflies everywhere that summer. There was shirts that like my daughters were wearing that I didn't even know. I was like, oh yeah, that is a butterfly, isn't it? Oh yeah, that little hair tie's got butterflies in it. I've noticed it. I've seen it, but I've never seen it. I saw it everywhere. And my husband's like, I mean, butterflies are everywhere. I'm like, no, they're not.
Right.
No, they're not. And it's funny because there's times I haven't seen one in a while. And I was like, see, I knew it. They're not everywhere. That was definitely a butterfly year. So
Yes, that is, you know what? I had never heard that story. That is amazing. I love that. Oh my God, we all like to have those signs. I know I do. And I'm one of those people like, you know what? God, take me by the hand and show me just in case. So I do relate to all of that. That's so great. Oh my God. Love it. You guys, if you can relate, put relate in the chat. This is so good, right? So we're going to move along to gift number 2 and question and answer from this amazing Emily. So gift number 2 is for other possible entrepreneurs, right? Because we're all entrepreneurs here, I'm sure, who just dream to create a community as well. Can you just give us like 3 to 5 important steps on like maybe how to start, manage, and successfully complete such a new community?
I mean, I think first of all, it's gotta be something that really that you feel people need, which means that you've kind of heard it in your friend groups or you've heard it in conversations. I feel that that's really important to kind of hear, I call it hear the data. Like, what do your friends talk about? What do they come to you for? And is that what your community is going to be about? So I think that that's number one is really start listening and paying attention and knowing like I knew I needed that in the past. So I just assumed, right, that if I needed it, other people need it. I did run it by a few like trusted friends. I'm like, what do you think about this thing? Right. And they were like, yeah, like basically they were like big dreamers and they're like, oh yeah, just start it and see what happens. So that's the other thing is start it and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the consistency of that is that if you know in your heart, you're like, no, this is a good thing. It might take people a little bit to jump on and understand that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think just knowing that you believe in it. I mean, our first couple meetings, we did networking meetings, there was like 3 or 4 people, but it's the other thing is keep going because people are watching and paying attention even when you don't realize that. And I also think, social proof is good. Take the pictures, take the document, like document and share it and saying, all right, so we're starting this company and we're just going to keep meeting every month. And it's really don't be so attached to any number. There's
Mm-hmm.
no number that makes a community like it's got to be this many people or this many numbers. No, I mean, we have had such amazing networking groups with 15, 20 people and other with just a handful, and they're all equally as beautiful in different ways. So I think just like not being attached to anything at first when you get started and being willing to a little bit pivot, not too much. Because if it's working, well, let me back up.
Okay.
For the people that are showing up to it, value their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you've been coming every month or every couple months. Like, what's working for you? What part do you like the most? Do a survey and see if you care, right? And you want to be, you know, with them and mindful of that. And then also know that like you're allowed to pivot anytime. If it's not working for you, the time, energy, effort, whatever, then pivot, then change it up a little bit. I don't even know if we have a membership in Empowered Moms where, they get a lot of these extra things for free and bonuses and upgrades and stuff like that. I'm not even sure if they've noticed some of the things I've changed because I'm like, I had to let that piece go. It wasn't really working for me, but I added this other piece. And I've surveyed some of them and I haven't. It just depends. So I think just get to know the people that are showing up, even if it's small, because it takes a little bit of time to grow too. And if you're in it for the long haul and you love it, then keep going.
Okay, amazing. So I see that as just value what you have, the people, the time, because they too have came to even one support you, I'm sure, but then to just learn and just have that community as well because they need that. We need that.
Yeah.
So okay, great. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Gift number 3. Running a community like Empowered Moms, I'm sure has its challenges. Therefore, can you just give us some advice on how to just keep yourself and the community going successfully? Plus, like, what kind of support do you feel one might need? Like, do you have a whole crew of people or what?
Sure. No, I don't. But I think that it's coming because the truth is, it's as challenging as you allow it, number one. but I do put a lot of time and energy into it. And there are times, like I said, it's just kind of reassessing what's my energy level when I do this one thing, right? So right now, if I'm doing all of it, it's taking up a lot of energy where I can't be in the like zone of genius if you've read like The Big Leap. And here's the thing is that we actually here you can do it all. It's just not gonna look pretty all the time, and you're not gonna be able to be your best self in every part of those roles. So which one of the roles in your company do you really love and you want more of? And which part could you just be like, you know what? I'm okay giving up a little control over this, because that's the hardest part, is the giving up control to allow someone else in. And I think we're getting to the close, we're getting close this year, like probably around our 1 year mark, where I'm like, this company can't grow if it's just me running it. There's no it, like I mean, it can, but it's going to be much slower, which again, I'm not in a rush. So it's like, we're here to stay. But then I think to myself, well, if I did have a little help, right, an admin assistant or a social media person or somebody to like do some of the things that it doesn't light me up completely,
Right.
what would that free up for me? And I think that's the biggest question, is you want to ask yourself, which one of these like tasks in running a business, community, whatever it may be, whatever business you have, which part would I kind of be okay not doing as much of? And even hiring a small amount of help, I've been told, which clearly I told you I'm going to be working on that, just to kind of, trial and error. The other thing is, if you haven't hired anyone, this is a great piece of advice my mentors have given me, which I'm starting to do, is like almost document in video what you're doing, because it's going to be really easy to then train them by saying, go back to the video, go back, instead of you using more of your energy. Like, I'm already putting together the emails and my Eventbrite links and all the stuff. So it's like, even if I loomed it or whatever those other software things are, but video yourself going through it. This is how I do this. I copy and paste this here. Here's my notes. And it's like, then if you just give that to someone, you say, hey, try a couple of these for me and send them to me, and then see if they did it right. Then you're just doing reflective like feedback instead of on the job training, which of course you're going to do too, but at least it's not expelling more energy. Because remember, you're hiring someone to take to like, give it back to you. You don't want to keep giving it back out.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see that helping. You guys, again, this is some value here that we're getting. So I so appreciate this. Just being able to have that extra support. I was very territorial, so I get that. I can totally relate. So I hired a VA just to help with the little things, just to help me along with things. So thank you for these tips. That's genius. And then that helped with time, what you were just speaking about. There's a lot of time for you for having to even train someone new. So that puts everything in perspective for both of you. That's great. I didn't even think about that like that. I'm going to be writing that down.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, on to gift number 4. We only have 5. Sorry. But
Good.
for gift number 4, so what were some initial challenge? Well, did we say that one about that you had faced? But no, what were some challenges that you faced when you actually launched it? And how did you overcome them?
I mean, honestly, for me, the biggest challenge is like the self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to do this, right? I think that's the biggest thing that prevents at least me from pushing something forward, right? But then I go back to like, but why did it feel so good when I had that idea? Like, why was I so excited and I was up all night? I couldn't wait to get it going. So then I check in, because I'm like, okay, but I'm just scared. It's just fear. I've been here before. I get scared sometimes. I'll speak on a stage, and then I'll get scared to do like a webinar, even though I could do a webinar in my sleep. It's so funny what we get like scared of. Like, what if no one shows up? The truth is, no one might show up. What's going to happen to you if no one shows up? And I think that's the biggest thing. You saw, even like I launched my first event last year. The scarier part, you guys, seriously, I had this event on my dream, in my dream board in my head for 3 years. I was going to do this, right? So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the deposit down. When you put the deposit down, I was like, yeah, but you can always take deposits back. You have a certain time period. But I was like, no, I put the deposit down. I got the date. We're good to go. But the whole time I'm like, I can pull back if nobody shows up. The hardest part was someone bought a ticket. Okay. Now, I dreamed of this. I knew it was going to work. I knew it was going to be amazing. I couldn't stop dreaming about it. But the fact when someone bought a ticket, I was like, oh, I really have to do it. Like, that one person, I mean, I wanted a room of 100 people, but that one person's counting on me. And it was Brenda, Brenda from Powerhouse Women was my first ticket buyer last year. And
Wow.
she actually texted me later. She goes, I don't even think I can come. I just wanted to support you. And then I started crying because I'm like,
Oh,
you don't even think you can come and you just wanted to support me. And that's when I was like, this is it. Like when you just have like just that little sign again, the signs from God. I'm like, look, obviously God was bought that ticket for her. You know what I mean? I'm like, she's not even coming. And then it's the trickle down from that. It's like now I have the full belief, no matter what, that this is going to be successful with very little expectations. It's going to be successful because I actually just pulled the trigger to do it. So I think the biggest thing is fear, and I think we all have it. So don't freak out with fear. Just know that that's actually very healthy. It's there to kind of challenge you. Like, am I just self-doubting myself? Am I saying, oh, I'm not good enough, strong enough, worthy enough? The truth is, every single mentor I've ever had has had feelings of that. And I actually won't hire anyone until they tell me a little bit about that because I'm not looking for perfect and I'm looking for relatable and I'm looking for real.
mm,
And I want to know that they've been through some hard stuff too. And we have similar feelings. And so then I can say to them, okay, I'm having that fear again. How'd you get through that when you went through it the time you told me, right? I don't need all the details. I just need to know you've been through it. So yeah.
yeah, relatable, for sure. Wow. And then, so let me just ask this. So you started with that one ticket. And how many if you can remember, how many did you end up having though?
Yeah, so I had
Yeah.
100 people in the room, which was my goal, is to have 100 people in that room,
Mhm.
right? We had vendors, speakers, sponsors. Sponsors was like a whole other thing. I was like, oh, no one's gonna like sponsor it. My friend was like, you just write a letter and you send it to some companies. I'm like, okay, here's my letter. She helped me like craft it. A couple other people, entrepreneur friends, looked it over, and then someone bought a couple $100 sponsor package. I'm like, I've never met you. What is happening here? I don't even know who you are. So I think that just again, that added to the confidence that I already had, but I wasn't quite believing until I saw it. So again, right, if it feels that good inside, I definitely keep going and entertaining that good feeling, right?
Yeah.
Because I was scared out of my pants the whole time, right? Even, and I'll even disclose this because I did this to someone else. I didn't even prepare like any speeches before my own event because
Mhm.
I was just, again, I was single-handedly doing the whole thing. And then it was like the night before and I'm freaking out and I was like, well, they're gonna get it fresh, raw off the, like you saw the paper. I had it. I had like an outline, but it was so funny. I'm like, yeah, oh well, like this is it. We're on 3, 2, 1, get on the stage and start talking. And I'm like, oh, I guess this is where I want to live is on stages because I just feel really good doing that. So again, that was the other like challenge, but also, okay, probably should be more prepared this year. I'll be a little more prepared, but it was still good.
I could, I, you guys, I attended, like I said, and I could not even tell. He didn't have this together. I'm trying to tell you. That just goes to show you, keep staying and just push forward. You'll get through it. As I always say, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
You've got through harder stuff, so you'll get through this too. So that is so great. And thanks for the tip about the letters to the sponsors. Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
You just got to
Wow.
ask.
Wow. And she had an amazing turnout and a lot of vendors too, because I found myself at all kind of tables that I didn't even get to. So you guys, you too can do this when it comes to community. It's so just brilliant when you just put it in your head, like she's saying, and go with it. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. All right, we're on the last gift. So gift number 5. What positive results or changes have you witnessed in the community? And what do you believe just keeps people engaged and wanting to like join or come back to the Empowered Moms group?
I think the biggest thing is number one, they know it's a non-judgmental space. We come as we are, right? And we all know that we go through hard things and we're not afraid to like talk about it and work with other moms. So I think just that feeling. At first, I think some people might have felt intimidated, like I don't feel empowered, right? I don't feel like an empowered mom yet. Maybe I shouldn't come. But that's actually the opposite of what I want. I want people to feel empowered when they walk out the door. Like, I don't always feel empowered when I go to my networking events. Sometimes I had a really crappy day and I feel like the worst mom ever. And then I'm able to come there and share it with a couple people in a beautiful way, in knowing that they're just going to embrace us. So I think it's just the feeling they get when they're around us. And then also the feeling they get when, even on our Zoom calls and our master classes, and I'm constantly grabbing expert people to pour into each other. That's my other big like takeaway too.
Mm.
And I'm trying to think of what else you asked me. Remind me one more time.
Uh,
Like, what was the other?
the positive
Oh, the positive.
results or changes
Yeah.
that you witnessed in the community that
Yes.
and what people engage to come back to the community.
Yeah, and I think because I have different aspects of it. We have like a free Zoom call. So that's free. Anyone can come on that. That's like the fourth Tuesday of the month. So just got to jump in my email group. Then we have our tribe. I'm sorry, we also have a free Facebook group. Then we have our tribe, which is again the paid members, where they have these master classes, and there's a few more upgrades, master classes, the free networking, all that kind of stuff. And then I have a mentorship program. So I think with the mentorship program, that's where a lot of moms have really made some deeper transformations with worksheets and videos and live calls and hot seat coaching. Again, it really just depends on what level of support you need. But I think the transformations and hearing all the lessons that these moms are learning and being able to apply to really even to their children, and breaking cycles and generational habits that really we can keep passing along. And I think that's the biggest positive for me, is watching that I was a part of that. I
Mm.
was a part of somebody, or even like also the collaborations,
Mm.
right? My favorite thing is when someone says to someone else, "Oh, well, we met at Empowered Moms," and there's two people that now became business partners. You just never know who's going to be in the room, whether it's a Zoom call or in person. You just never know who you're going to be sitting next to. That could be your next best friend, business partner, biggest support system, accountability coach, whoever, interior designer. You just don't know who you're going to sit next to. And I usually feel that, like, God places the right people in the right room together. And so I said, I'm never attached to the outcome of any number, because I'm
Mm.
like, well, the number was the perfect number of people joining today or joining at one of our networking events. So yeah, I mean, I think just looking at it as, like you said, everything works out and everything is supposed to be like intended for support and community. And so if people are looking for that or needing that, I try to offer multiple different facets for people to be a part of, and whatever aligns best with you.
Oh, all right. That's fantastic. Actually, let me tell you something that you didn't know. So when I came to one of Emily's events that she had at a coffee shop. But it was more of my recent, events that I came to. There was a young lady there, and I happened to get her brochure. She sells
Yeah.
insurance, as simple as car insurance.
Mhm.
And she was at that event that she's speaking of, one of Emily's Empowered Mom Group events. And I all of a sudden was like, oh my gosh, I need new insurance. In Michigan, by the way, they went up with all car insurance and things like that. So I was like, wait a minute, we can't go. So I actually pulled out that I would have never been able to do that had I not came to your event.
Aw.
I pulled that out just the other day, spoke to her, and she was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, okay. And I was like, by the way, I'm going on a podcast with Emily.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
like, oh
Chrissy's amazing. Definitely have Chrissy. Chrissy is an amazing soul. Like, she's just beautiful. You got to have her.
yeah. Even just talking to her on the phone, and I told her, and she was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, so she's helping me right now. I got to get her some information still, but uh, would have never been able to do that if you didn't have that community for me to have that connection to even go back to that flyer. Just saying.
Yeah.
So just wanted to put that out there and let you know, because I know you didn't know.
Thank you. I love
And
it. I love it.
I have a question also with that gift that you just gave and the answer. Do you do all of those things? The whole, when people sign up, like, or do you have people who assist to be the mentor or in these groups, or do you do all of these things in these groups that you have? The Facebook group, the master classes. Is it just
No,
you?
I have a huge team behind me. No, it's just me right now. Totally. Yes.
Right.
Um, like I said, I mean, on my plan for this year is hiring the VA and someone to help with those things. And it's not a coincidence. There was a lady I ran into in person the other day that was literally stay-at-home mom ready to go back into something, and that's her area of expertise. And I'm like, huh, interesting. Might have to set up a call with you, right? Because yeah, it would free up space. And I think that's the biggest thing is understanding like what's not aligning with me now. Sure, again, you can do it all. You can do it all and then burn yourself out like I love doing. I don't love doing. Obviously, that's the joke.
No.
But the truth is, I mean, it's really protecting your energy, time, and space, right? We're all doing this because we want freedom of some sort. Is that not true? We either want freedom, we want freedom of time, so we want more time for the things we love. We want freedom from money worries, right? So maybe that freedom of that, maybe all the above. But it's like, it's really important, I think, to understand where do you need that freedom first and how do you want to work smarter, not harder to get there. Again, the one thing is that I always got afraid of was like, you do have to spend money to make money. Don't kill me for that, but you don't have to spend a lot.
Right.
There's some people out there charging thousands and thousands and thousands. I was just telling someone else, I was like, you're brand new. Why? Maybe when you're like, climbing up a little bit and you have some capital, sure. Like if you want to, put 10 grand down on a program, mentor, whoever. And I'm not trying to defer someone from doing that, but most of the time there's like that, the money blocking issue. So it's like, what's going to push you to move forward and who's going to help with the right tools to get you there? Because you got to trust them. I would always get referrals, like find someone else in these people who's working with these people and make sure that this is the right thing. Sorry, I went on a little tangent there, but I just think that that's a really important thing, especially like with a VA. Like I'm going to go to referrals. I'm going to look at who's used them for what, when, and where. How do they work and how do they communicate? I'm big on communicating. Is she going to get back to me? Is she not going to get back to me? Is she going to leave me hanging? Like I can't hire that person. On the spot, I would fire them. Can't do it.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
It's so great, man. Okay, so there was a question in here. I just wanted to put it out there for you. They want to know how to get on your email list.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us more about you and how to get connected with you and things like that? That would be great.
Yeah, so I mean, Instagram right now is my biggest platform that I'm on. My email list, it's in the link in bio on my Instagram. So it's also in the website, which is empoweredmoms.co. I'm not missing the M, that's intentional. Empoweredmoms.co. And it's just to join the email list. It's weekly unless I'm like launching something fun and new, but otherwise it's every week. We kind of put some content and some other information. Lots of events in Michigan, and I like to promote other people's events, or if Empowered Moms is like if I'm speaking or if I'm a vendor, I'm going to include those events in my newsletters too, so you can kind of just see where we're popping up. And that's probably the best way to just like stay in my world, see kind of what we're doing, and obviously play around on the website and see if anything aligns with you. Please reach out to me. I know, Jenée is saying, it's just me over here, but I do respond back. It is me. I don't have like robots yet. There's no robots yet, but yeah, I'll respond back, especially if you're curious about something or want more information. I'm more than happy to give you that.
Yes. And the person who was asking that is Maisha. And Maisha, I get her wonderful letters, so I can certainly share and so that you can get on as well.
Awesome.
So for sure. This has been so amazing. Just grateful to have Dr. Emily Jacobs on here. Thank you so very, very much. Is there one last thing that you would like to say just to a mom, an entrepreneur, before you leave us?
Honestly, I just want to tell you that like dreams don't end at motherhood. Your life doesn't end. Your dreams don't end. And if you feel like you're there, I just want you to start thinking about what's one tiny thing you could start doing to get yourself out of that feeling or towards something else. A lot of times we think of the marathon, the finish line. Don't think about that yet. Think about the one tiny step. And as Jenée knows, those steps build, but it starts with the one, right? It starts with putting the tennis shoes on if you're going to go for a run. You got to put the tennis shoes on first, right? And dreams don't end.
Yes. Do it ugly. Is that what they say? Do it. Thank you so very much, Emily, for being on here. I am so grateful to you. And thank you for all these amazing blessings and gifts that you gave to us tonight. So grateful.
I'm so glad I'm here and so glad that we met years ago. And that's what I truly believe in these mentorship programs sometimes is that sisterhood doesn't end. And like I'm forever grateful for the programs and mentors that I chose. Like they're in my heart forever because of situations like this. Years later, we're still supporting each other. I love it. Thank
And
you. And
thriving.
driving. Yeah.
So I love that. And I can see you with a whole team. Trust. You got
This
this.
this time next year. There we
Yes.
go. We're gonna mark our words.
Yes. Put it up there. Yes.
It'll
Thank
happen.
you so very much for joining. Everyone, please stay on as usual. I'm going to continue and end up with how I do things. Thank you so much, Emily.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
So, everyone, wasn't she a blessing? So, in sharing our guest journey, remember the insightful ways of just starting, conducting, or even being a part of a community. I hope we've inspired you to just start your own journey or even join someone else's community because it's very key and it's very important to stay connected. As she said, and you heard her say, we've known each other for like 2 years now from a whole nother community, Powerhouse Women. And they're out of actually Arizona. And her and I, who knew, were both in Michigan. We didn't even know this, so we flew back. And then we were like seeing each other like, wait a minute, you're in Michigan? Wait, I was at that same event in Arizona. I just say it was divine order, and I am so blessed to have met her. So just do your own service and just start your own community, or again, join one. It would be a great experience, and you deserve it. You know, you don't have to do this alone. I keep saying that, and I mean it. So as always, I'm here to give my own giftful tips of our topic today. So I just have 2 today. Gift number 1 is to simply just reflect on your own values and beliefs. And, you know, how can you translate these into actionable initiatives? Just ask yourself that, right? And positively impact those around you. All right. Ask yourself about that. And then the gift number 2 is to start small, as she also mentioned, Dr. Emily Jacobs. Start small, but think big, okay? Often the most significant changes begin with a small little step. That's it. That's it. So let me share with you also a giftful secret, okay? No one knows this. And if she got off, I think she might still be watching, but if she did get off, she'll see it later. But guess what? This is how I personally, Jenée, the uplifter, am thinking big. Let me tell you, I too am starting my own community. Look out for it because it's happening. I am so excited about it, you guys. You'll get more about it if by chance you want to know more about the community that I'm going to be starting, very similar to Emily's. Put the hashtag community in the chat. I'll make sure I get you the information or to keep you abreast of everything. Or, of course, you know, you can DM me directly. But yes, can't wait to start that community. It's going to be such a blessing. Actually, I have 1/3 gift, and that is to embrace collaboration. That also is huge when it comes to community, that collaboration, right? Building strong partnerships increases the actual impact and it fosters a community of harmony. You know, Emily, she spoke about that as well, just being in touch with whomever she's going to be hiring to assist her in her community. Just having that harmony is very, very key. And that positivity, right? So lastly, as you know, I like to give a challenge. Okay. So the challenge is consider one practical step. Okay. That you can do this week coming because we are on Friday, but you can do this upcoming week to contribute positively in your actual community, in your selected community. So pick a community and maybe support them or just give back, you know, in any way that you can. You're going to feel so much better and it's going to assist you even as an entrepreneur. So It could be volunteering, advocating for a certain cause, or again, just starting a new project. But your action matters. So keep that in mind. So with all that said, I'm so grateful for you all joining me today. Thank you for tuning in to this enlightening episode of Faith Forward Fearlessly with me, Jenée, the Uplifter. And let's just continue to embrace faith, okay? The driven actions that we've learned today and persevere ahead fearlessly, all right, as we all deserve to do. Don't stop. Do not give up. So just knowing that we can do this and together is all the better, right? So don't give up. I don't care what anyone tells you. Keep going. Just ignite change because we deserve it. Positive change. So join us next time as we explore the new avenues of faith and inspired impact. All right. Remember, together we should just walk by faith, not by sight. And until next time, have a blessed day and a prosperous year on purpose. I'm Jenée.